It's 68 degrees, 10 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, and it is my privilege to welcome to the show this morning Nigel Peters. Good morning, Nigel.
Hey, good morning, Randy. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a privilege to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, enjoying a little bit of cool weather in the morning.
Yeah? Where are you calling from?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Indianapolis. It's a little cooler over there. How's Peyton Manning doing?
I'm not really sure. I know we're going with Kerry Collins for the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I'm just being honest. I mean, I know Peyton's hurt. He's recovering from neck surgery, but Kerry Collins? Anyway, that's not why we're here to talk, is it? No, you're a race car driver, aren't you?
Yeah, race out here at the Indianapolis Speedrome.
Uh-huh. And you've been doing that for how long?
About 5 years now. Been fully dedicated to it for 4. First year was kind of go out and play around.
Now let me ask, Nigel, how old are you?
I'll be 25 in November.
And been racing since you were 20?
Yep.
And been doing pretty good, I hear.
Yeah, I do all right. I have some good times and some bad times. I think every race car driver ends up having those up.
Yeah. I mean, there's good days and there's bad days. Some days Uncle Flub just puts his arm around your shoulder and says, "You're not racing today, son," you know?
Oh, yeah, I understand that fully.
Yeah, but now you've got a unique racing format that you do. I understand you race figure eight?
Yeah, I run the figure eight most often. As soon as they throw one on the schedule, I like to run them. Sometimes I run with some bigger classes too, Outlaw Series and whatnot.
Now, what class are you in right now?
I'm in Super Street Stocks, basically.
Super Street Stock?
Yeah, they're Monte Carlos and Cutlasses, old 80s models, fully caged with bigger engines and everything put in them. They're pretty fun to play with. They're like the older style NASCAR, like the original back in the day NASCAR cars.
Right. I remember those. Now, how long is the track?
It's a 1/5 of a mile oval.
1/5 of a mile. Oval. And you can get around there how fast?
13.5 is the fastest I've went on the oval ever on qualifying time.
That was a record, wasn't it?
No, that one wasn't actually a record. We're on a different tire than we used to be.
So I see.
Slowed down times a little bit.
So 13.5 seconds is the fastest trip around the oval, 1/5 of a mile. And how many cars are racing at a time?
There's been anywhere up to 25, 30 cars at a time.
On a 1/5 of a mile?
Yeah, you could be sitting on the pole position and while you're going around for pace laps looking at the bumper of the person running in last place and have about 4 cars till you run into them. So,
how wide? How many abreast can you go? 2, 3, 4?
All we can really get normally is 2. You can push 3, but normally bad things happen if you end up trying to do that one.
Oh, my goodness. 20, 25 cars, 1/5 of a mile. Sounds like downtown Carbondale. I'm not sure. How do you prepare for something like that, Nigel?
I'm not really sure. You kind of just get your car ready and hope that a lot of the traffic works with you. And you got to drive a couple cars ahead of yourself. You can't just worry about the one right in front of you because something 2 cars in front of him could happen.
There's a lot of trust going on here, I sense.
Oh, yeah, with quite a few of the drivers, and there's a lot of distrust in a couple of them, too.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready for either or.
Of course, there's quite a bit of safety equipment, I would imagine, and everybody wears helmets. You've got those 5-point harnesses, and you got roll cages in those cars?
Yeah, we've all got roll cages in our cars. They're fully caged from front to rear.
Now, how did you get interested in racing like that, especially on the figure eight?
Just used to go out and watch it all the time. My dad was big into NASCAR when I was little, and we just started going out to the track and watching every weekend. And then finally, I decided I was going to give it a shot, and ended up. We actually own a local shop in Indy, and a customer wasn't going to fix their car and gave it to me, so I went out and tried running their little 4-cylinder classes they call Hornets. Is basically how I got into it originally, and just kind of escalated from there to where I am today.
Yeah. And you've got several wins under your belt, I understand.
I got quite a few.
Yeah.
I've probably got at least 10 street stock wins in the past 2 years, year and a half, and I've won over 20 4-cylinder races in under a year.
Now, you mentioned your dad. Tell me a little bit more about your family.
I've got 5 sisters. with tons of nieces and nephews. I've got a 1.5-year-old daughter. We own a local business here in Indy, Peters Auto Service. We do all sorts of foreign and domestic repairs.
Yeah.
My mom, she's more or less full-time grandma. She takes care of all the grandkids and babysits and spends as much quality time with them as she possibly can.
Now, where are you in the family of those 5 sisters? Are you the oldest, the youngest, in the middle?
I'm kind of in the middle.
Kind of in the middle. Hand-me-downs had to be terrible.
No, all five of my siblings are sisters.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That'd be a bummer, man.
It would be. You put in a dress.
But so you're the only guy living in a sorority. That had to be an experience, man.
Oh yeah, I was kind of spoiled a little bit by my dad for quite a long time because of it.
I'll bet. Now, did they support your racing career? Do they come out in force and cheer for you?
The ones that can come out when they can. My mom and one of my twin sisters, Ashley, and her husband Lucas, and their son Aiden, they come out just about every weekend. Some of them work weekends, so they don't make it out as often. But my sister Tiffany and Taylor, they both come out quite a while.
Yeah.
My sister Stephanie in Kordes, she comes out when she's down here, but she lives about 2 hours away. And then my other sister stays pretty busy in Danville, so I don't see her out there very often.
Yeah. Got any of the family on the pit crew?
Very rarely.
Very
I've
rarely.
got my brother-in-law Lucas help on some big shows. He's not very mechanically inclined, so he's kind of my gas man and helps me out the best he can. But it's always nice to have as many sets of hands as you can. They come in handy.
Does Mama ever get nervous when you're racing a quarter of a mile with 25 cars? How fast do you get? I know you said 13.5 seconds.
I'd probably say like 63 to 65 miles an hour on the oval. And the 8, I really couldn't tell you. And then when they run the big like 3-hour figure 8, they put you on a completely different tire. And I mean, your times dropped dramatically.
A 3-hour figure 8?
Oh,
wow.
Endurance rates. There's probably anywhere. This year they've actually upped all the purses, so there'll probably be anywhere from 70 to 100 cars this year. Not even everybody qualifies in, so it's something special. They actually run for the late models, and the stock cars actually can qualify into it. They start 34 cars, and last year I qualified 15th into it against cars that are all tubular chassis against my old Monte Carlos.
So does Mom ever get nervous? Does she say, "Now be careful, when you go out there"? Or does she worry about you?
She used to. I think she still does, but she really doesn't talk about it because she knows no matter what, I'm going to go out and do it anyway.
Yeah. Does she and your wife sit together and close their eyes?
No. I'm actually not married.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think very many of them close their eyes anymore.
Yeah, they just kind of watch and see what's going on, huh?
Yeah, there's probably a few moments still every now and then that they close their eyes.
I bet.
I highly doubt it most often.
Well, if you're going to figure 8 and there's 25 cars in there's got to be times when one just zips by in front of you. I mean, and just barely misses your bumper.
Yeah, there's quite a few cars that end up getting split. A car will go in front of it, and a car will go behind it. It's still a lot of that trust thing. You got to look across the track when you're in the middle of one turn, looking at the other, and pick before you ever come off one turn if you're going to go or not. If you end up changing your mind, you are probably going to get hit.
Yeah, you don't change your mind, you just hit it and go, don't you?
Yep, and you got to hope the other guy's thinking exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah, I guess your heart beats really fast when you're in that kind of a situation.
Actually, you kind of zone out. When you get in a race car, everything you're thinking about just kind of drops, and you don't remember much of what's going on until you get out. All you can think about is trying to get through however many laps it is you got.
Do you have a lot of stress in your life, Nigel?
No, it comes and it goes. I mean, just about with anybody else's life. Bills and everything, you just got to take care of them and try to keep going.
You ever take anybody for a ride?
I would if I had a seat and they'd let me.
And they'd let you.
People ask. I've got a teddy bear strapped to the side of my car. Every once in a while he goes for a ride.
That's pretty good. Now, you mentioned the purse a minute ago. What's the average purse on these races?
Stock car oval races pay out $300 for a 20-lap feature, or 25-lap feature. And then, like, the 3-hour endurance race pays out $20,000 this year to win. $1,000 just to start.
Wow.
I mean, your bigger shows, you run into quite a few of them that are real nice, but an average Saturday night's just about $300 payout.
Yeah.
With the money we have in the cars, it's definitely a hobby. I can tell you that. We don't make a killing doing any of it.
Yeah.
It's just for the love of the sport.
Right. Now, I understand when you win a trophy, you do something special with that trophy.
Yeah, typically I give it to any of the kids in the stands or kids that come back in the pits after races. I keep a select few. If it's been a special race or if, it was something I really took a lot of time trying to win, I keep a couple of them and put them up at our shop. Other than that, I've probably given away 100, 150 trophies in my 5 years out there.
Is there anywhere here in Illinois where the figure eight racing takes place?
I'm not sure about in Illinois. I know you guys are quite a few dirt tracks.
Yeah, we've got dirt tracks.
I don't know if you guys run the figure eight out there or not. I'd have to look.
I haven't heard of it. That's why I was wondering, if there was anywhere they could go and see you race.
They could definitely. I think there's a few races that are on YouTube that you could look at, but I'm not sure. You just have to search around a little bit.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested in seeing it, they can definitely come on down for the 3-hour. If they want to see figure eight racing at its finest, that'd be the time to do it.
And that's going to be in Indianapolis is that the Superdrome?
Speedrome.
Speedrome.
Mm-hmm.
And when is that?
I believe it's September 8th.
September 8th. How long do you plan on doing this, Nigel?
As long as my body and finances will let me.
Sounds like you found something you enjoy that you like, and in a strange way, it brings relaxation and peace to your life.
Oh, yeah, it brings a whole lot of relaxation to your life. It brings a lot of stress to your life, too. I mean, those bad nights when you get into it with somebody and tear up the whole side of your car and know you've got a long week ahead of you fixing it, it gets a little aggravating, but you always end up putting them back together and getting back out there. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, I'm not going to be here anymore. I'm tired of my car getting tore up. And then sure enough, Saturday comes around and they're pulling in with you.
Yeah. You build a lot of relationships with people on the circuit?
I've met a lot of great people on my circuit.
Yeah.
I even work with a couple of them.
Yeah.
We've almost got it up to where it's kind of like a family.
Yeah.
You spend more time with them than you do with your own family sometimes, depending on the week.
Is it like any other family? Every once in a while you have a disagreement?
You have a lot of disagreements, maybe even more.
I mean, sometimes you say, hey, you hit me on purpose, or none of that. Does any of that ever happen, or you just kind of let that stuff slide?
No, I'm more likely to hit my buddies on purpose than I am somebody I don't know, in all honesty. They're about the same with me. I think more often if you're a friend with the guy that's driving on alongside you, you're probably going to rub a little bit more because you don't have to explain to yourself at the end of it, and they come out laughing half the time. I was just wondering because, you see them on NASCAR every once in a while, they go running over to the car and throw punches in the window. You don't see anything like that. Oh, I see plenty of that. I've seen far worse than that, too. Some of these guys I hear get out of control from time to time.
Yeah.
I saw a guy once get out of his car with a baseball bat and a helmet to go chase a guy with no helmet on.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's not really anything I've ever done. I typically try to stay in my car and keep my cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, every once in a while you run into those things.
Yeah.
It's just good old, I don't know how to even think of how to pronounce it. Good old boy racing is basically the best way I can put it.
I hear you. You got a race coming up soon?
Tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Going to be doing one of the regular circuit races?
Regular show, 25-lap oval. They're running a 100-lap figure eight in the late models, but I can go out and play in it, but